Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
Good evening. I'm Stephen Hernandez. Thanks for joining us. Governor Mack Dewine is promising to invest in the future of Ohio. He delivered his first State of the State address as governor earlier today. In his speech, Dewine touched on a range of solutions to problems Ohio is facing. He also defended his proposed gas tax. Some of Dewine's solutions to Ohio's problems included protecting the long-term health of the state's water, substance abuse prevention classes in all schools, and a new intelligence center at the Ohio Department of Public Safety. He also stressed the importance of maintaining the state's roadways. And in Athens, there may be another delay for the city's pedestrian path underneath Richland Avenue. City Council is tabling an ordinance to increase the funding for the project. Some City Council members are suggesting other options, like a person directing traffic or a median. The project was already pushed back to 2020 because no suitable bids were submitted to the city. All of those bids costed more than the city's estimates. And once again, the Alexander Local School District is trying to pass a tax levy for operating expenses. The levy will call for a 1% earned income tax. It would be used to expand the janitorial department, elective courses, and student health care. The levy would also maintain after-school programs. The May ballot measure is the sixth attempt to pass an Alexander school levy in 3 years.
Hi everybody, I'm forecaster Nicholas Snyder. Well, it was a very chilly day outside today, all due to a cold front that came through the other day. Look at these highs: 21 in Columbus, 20 in Newark, 20 in New Lexington, 24 in Cambridge. Pretty much all under mainly cloudy skies. We had a couple of snow showers come through earlier on in the morning as a result of some lake effect snow squalls coming off of Lake Michigan. Those have since moved off to the east, all due to this major trough in the jet stream. When you have these troughs, you get a lot of cold air coming down from Canada and the North Pole, and we're really getting that. And we have a nice little ridge back here, so warmer air is in store over the next couple of days. But we'll take a look at the big picture right now. High pressure is overhead. That's dominating. That's why we've seen quite a calm pattern over the past couple of days. But low pressure is coming in. We'll talk about that in a second, but first we'll get you through tonight. 20 at 8 p.m., 17 at 10, 16 at 12 a.m. Clearing out as we go throughout the night. Those clouds will clear out. 12 will be the low. It'll be very cold tonight, mostly cloudy. Again, clearing after midnight. Winds will be out of the west-southwest at 0 to 5 miles an hour. All across the area, temperatures will be in the upper single digits and lower teens. 9 in Columbus, 8 in Newark, 8 in Cambridge. We haven't seen weather this cold since our big cold spell back at the end of January and the beginning of February. 10 in Chillicothe, 14 in Jackson. All under mainly cloudy to partly cloudy skies. More clear the further west you go. 12 at 8 a.m., 16 at 10 a.m., 22 at noon. Warming up as we go throughout the day under mainly partly cloudy skies. We won't rule out an isolated flurry, especially earlier on in the morning. 26 will be our high. Winds will be out of the west-southwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. All across the area, temperatures will be in the middle and lower 20s. 23 in Columbus, 21 in Newark, 23 in New Lexington, 26 here in Athens, 25 in Chillicothe. Again, under mainly cloudy to partly cloudy skies. Can't rule out an isolated flurry anywhere you go. Here is the big picture. We have a cold front decaying that's coming across Lake Erie. That's stirring up those snow showers, lake effect snow showers, which may stir up a couple of flurries tomorrow. There's our high pressure off to our south. That will continue to dominate before moving off to the east. And here's a possible snowmaker coming in Thursday night into Friday. So here are forecast snow totals for that. I told you on Twitter and Instagram last night that we could have another snowmaker possible. Here is that 1 to 3 inches in this light white area. In these gray areas, less than an inch. We're not expected to see a whole lot. We'll keep you updated as the days go throughout. At Snyder_WX on Twitter and Instagram. Now, here are our 10-day air masses. This is a massive area of low pressure. This is Saturday. We're going to have warm air surging from the south. That's going to provide a lot of wind as well. Those isobars, when they get close together, expect a lot of wind. That will eventually move on through. We have a cold front coming through, cooling us down before another large area of low pressure comes in for next Thursday, cooling us off, or warming us up, excuse me. Again, here's the extended forecast. 40 on Friday with snow likely, 53 on Saturday with rain possible, and look at this 60 on Sunday. Stephen?
Looking forward to that very warm Sunday. Thanks for the weather update, Nicholas. Search and rescue operations are still underway in Alabama where tornadoes ravage communities. But authorities are now saying it is turning into a recovery operation. Some of the residents in this area are being allowed back into their properties. The number of people killed remains at 23. It's the deadliest tornado outbreak in nearly 6 years. Officials say one of the tornadoes, an EF4, packed winds of up to 170 miles per hour. It's the end of an era for an automaker. General Motors is saying goodbye to one of its vehicles, and one Ohio plant is closing down. Lindsay McCoy reports.
The final Chevy Cruze rolls toward the assembly line. All of the plant's remaining 1,400 workers reported to GM Lordstown Monday, with some getting ready to not come back.
It's not good. I'm going to hang out and hopefully get into Toledo soon.
The last car went past me. Well, it's on another line. It'll get to me tomorrow, but it was really sad. A little quiet, little eerie quiet. It's sad.
As the last car goes down the line, GM is phasing out workers. Production workers who put that car on the line last week, this could be their last day. And I'm told paint shop workers could clock out for the last time tomorrow.
All we can do is just hang in there, hope something happens.
That last Chevy Cruze is expected to come off the line on Wednesday. UAW Local 1112 leaders are asking the community to wear blue this Friday for what's called True Blue Friday, to support the Lordstown workers right before area church bells ring at the end of the last official shift.
At 3 o'clock on Friday will be the beginning of our unallocated status officially. We recognize that a lot of our members will be off the job before then, but some of those folks might not be at work at that time.
297 workers took transfers before the second shift went away, and Green says 411 are signed up for transfers and are now getting ready to leave next month. With more local news, I'm Lindsay McCoy.
The official closing date for the plant is this Friday. An Ohio teen made headlines by defying his parents' wishes for him to not be vaccinated was on Capitol Hill today. Ethan Lindenberger told his story in the Senate hearing addressing recent outbreaks of diseases. The number of young children who have not received vaccines is on the rise.
For certain individuals and organizations that spread this misinformation, they instill fear into the public for their own gain selfishly, and do so knowing that their information is incorrect. For my mother, her love, affection, and care as a parent was used to push an agenda to create a false distress.
Lindenberger said he recently got caught up on all of his shots when he turned 18 a few months ago. He believes misinformation regarding vaccines and how they actually save lives. And in Louisiana, people are letting the good times roll because it's Fat Tuesday. It's the last day to celebrate Carnival and the Mardi Gras spirit. Fat Tuesday is one final day to party before Lent, which starts with Ash Wednesday. A version of Mardi Gras has been practiced around the world for centuries. People wanted to cook foods before they would be giving them up for Lent. In the U.S., New Orleans is the place to be on Fat Tuesday. Fat Tuesday has been an official holiday in Louisiana since the 1800s. Coming up, we'll have a special segment featuring musicians in Southeast Ohio. You'll get an inside look at upcoming artists, community groups, and an instrument maker. Next on Newswatch. And stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your local public television station.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at WOUB.org. And thank you.
This is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
Welcome in, Hardwood fans. Now, as you know, we've already aired our season finale where you see all these great people behind me who made our all-hero and all-feature teams. But that doesn't mean our coverage stops. There are still a lot of teams in the playoffs and games left to be played. So if you want to stay up to date with all that and all the other TVC action, then go follow our social media. Like us on Facebook, add us on Snapchat, and follow us on Twitter. And always remember to be heroic.
I loved Ken Burns' series on the Civil War. It was deeply impacting. I love history. To have those stories told through these letters, through stories of love and loss, it rewrote the book on how to tell a story. When television was invented, there were a lot of people who had dreams about what it could do. I think PBS still aspires for and often succeeds at reaching the highest ideals of what television could be.
Hello everybody, I'm Brian Kerp. There's a lot of Ohio sports to talk about today. We start on a gridiron. The Ohio football team officially started spring practice Monday. The team started today with their position meetings. Then the Bobcats took the field for positional and team drills. Frank Solich said the main objective of the spring sessions is development. One of the main position battles is at the running back position. Since A.J. Olette and Malik Irons are gone, the battle is wide open. One position that will not require a battle is at quarterback. That's because Air Canada Nathan Rourke is back for his senior season. It is hard to believe that the basketball season is almost over. The Mack Tour begins next week. As of Tuesday, Buffalo holds the top spot with a 14-2 conference record. Keep in mind that they close the season at home against Bowling Green, the second seed. Toledo, the third seed, finishes the season at home against Eastern Michigan. The Ohio Bobcats are in 11th place. If everything holds, as is in the standings, Ohio would travel to Ypsilanti on Monday to take on Eastern Michigan in the first round of the tournament, but the standings will likely change. Even though the Bobcats are towards the bottom of the standings, they have really played better in the past few weeks. After a slow start, the Ohio offense has really picked things up as of recent, and that has caught the attention of coach Saul Phillips.
It's nice to know that we're playing our best basketball, and really in every capacity of the game we played at a pretty high level at Akron. The growth we've made offensively in the past 3 or 4 games has bled its way over to the defensive end now, and that's where you want to be.
Now over to the MAC women's basketball standings. The top 2 seeds, Central Michigan and Miami, have clinched first-round byes already. If Ohio wins or Toledo loses on Wednesday, the Bobcats will clinch a first-round bye as well. If Ohio wants to get to the top seed, they need to win out, and Central Michigan needs to lose one or both of their 2 remaining games against Western Michigan and Toledo. I've mentioned this, and Bob Bowen has brought it up before, but this conference is very deep, unlike past years. Next week's tournament is sure to be a whole lot of fun. You know what else is going to be a whole lot of fun? Ohio's game Wednesday against Miami in the Battle of the Bricks, Part 2. The first time these teams played this season, Miami came away with a 67-61 victory, Lauren Dickerson scored 28 points, and forward Savannah Klusner added 21 points. This season, Dickerson averages just over 16 points per game. The Battle of the Bricks is a big deal already, but Ohio has a chance to take the number 2 seed in the conference with a win. And Bob Bowen has a chance to become the winningest coach in program history.
When you're good, you tend to get everybody's best shot, and that's exciting. You know, it shouldn't be looked down upon or as an inconvenience. It just is. It's exciting to be in that position, and we wouldn't want to be any other place this week.
We just need to finish all 4 quarters. We need to play them all the best, all the hardest, keep our energy the whole time. And that's hard to do once you get tired. It's hard to keep talking. It's hard to keep moving your feet, and everything becomes harder, and it's whoever's going to push through it in the end.
We now shift from the hardwood to the wrestling mat. On Tuesday, the Mid-American Conference announced a huge expansion in the sport of wrestling. The conference announced 7 new affiliate members. Those members are Bloomsburg, Clarion, Edinburgh, Lock Haven, Ryder, Georgia Mason, and Cleveland State. These programs will start competing in the MAC during the 2019-2020 wrestling season. In total, the MAC will now have 15 total members, making it the second largest NCAA Division I wrestling conference. That means a lot more competition. That's it for sports. I'm Brian Kerp. Stay tuned for a music special segment.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at WOUB.org. And thank you.
Welcome in, Hardwood fans. Now, as you know, we've already aired our season finale where you see all these great people behind me who made our all-hero and all-feature teams. But that doesn't mean our coverage stops. There are still a lot of teams in the playoffs and games left to be played. So if you want to stay up to date with all that and all the other TVC action, then go follow our social media. Like us on Facebook, add us on Snapchat, and follow us on Twitter. And always remember to be heroic.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse.
TV, play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
PBS had a special on Pearl Harbor, and once Landon started watching the show about the Arizona, he completely became fascinated.
That's Donald Stratton, and that's me.
And then his Christmas wish this year was to meet Donald Stratton, one of the survivors from the Arizona.
So good to see you, buddy.
Everything that Landon has learned from PBS, it's immeasurable.
This is for you.
Thank you, big guy.
He is living proof of the effect that PBS has had on his life.
I'm here with Emily Vota, WOUB culture reporter. She's here to showcase some features she has coming up. So you spoke with Larry Elefante in Studio A, and I understand he has an album coming out this week. What can you tell me about that?
Yeah. Larry Elefante is actually the name for Michael Ratushin. That's the name of his musical endeavors, though. And we had him and a whole crew of some really great Athens-based musicians in Radio A last week. The feature is up now on woub.org/culture. You can hear the band run through 3 different songs and from the forthcoming album entitled I Get Sentimental, which will be out on March 8th. And the band is having a release show at Casa Nueva on March 8th to commemorate that. Should be a good time.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we've also got the day before that actually at Arts West, a cat art exhibition. I was wondering what you could tell me about that.
Yeah, Arts West for the second year in a row is really embracing their sort of mascot as being a cat. I don't know if you've seen their mascot before, it's a little cat. And so they got a lot of submissions of art, cat art specifically, from the public. Half of it is from the public. Half of it is from Integrated Services, which is a behavioral health group in the region. They also submitted a lot of cat art, and that'll be on Thursday, March 7th, starting at 5:30. There'll be cat-themed music, cat-themed art, a silent auction for the Outer Space Cat Rescue. It's going to be a cat kind of evening.
Yeah, that sounds really fun, honestly. So, and then you're set, though, to interview a member of Guided by Voices. I understand they were kind of a big deal in the 90s. Yeah. So what do we need to know about their performance next week? I understand they're playing in Athens.
Yeah, and it's not Guided by Voices themselves, but it is Tobin Sprout, who was maybe one of the more celebrated members of one of the iterations of Guided by Voices. And I'm very excited to see him in Athens. Some of his contributions to the bands, to Guided by Voices, were some of my favorites. So I'm excited to see a solo performance of his, and I'm pretty nervous. I'm interviewing him soon, and I'll have that feature up before the show on the 15th.
Awesome. Well, that'll be super exciting. Thank you so much, though, Emily. Appreciate you coming by to talk.
Yeah, thank you.
Patrick McGee's days as a city council member are numbered as he gets closer to retiring. But he tells Newswatch reporter Caitlin Coolidge he plans on staying busy by playing his harp.
Patrick McGee has been playing since 1983.
It helped strengthen his fingers after he crushed them in an accident when he was younger. Throughout the years, his style has changed from Irish folk to English country, and now to what he calls meditative music. He says playing outside in nature is what helps him create the meditative sounds in his song, Mother of the Earth.
That was composed while I was walking through the Ash Cave area, and it was just beautiful. I just couldn't stop playing it. I was so inspired by the beauty of Ash Cave.
McGee has also played with other musicians under the cherry blossoms along the bike path and on the Ridges Trail. He says he also enjoys playing on city streets, where he can use his harp to calm people.
Everyone seemed so frantic, and I just started playing some of my meditative tunes, and it was amazing. Everybody just changed. I could just watch the change in them as they walked by.
McGee says his soothing songs had the biggest impact on people right after 9/11.
It was really amazing to see how it affected people. That's one of the beauties of this kind of music. It can really grab your heart or your soul and really, touch you.
You may find McGee playing at the farmer's market or on the bike path in the spring before he plays his harp across Prague in Scotland after he retires. For Newswatch, I'm Caitlin Coolidge.
You can also watch McGee play his harp at the Unitarian Fellowship of Athens. Twice a month, people head over to the Old School Library in Stuart to play bluegrass music. WOUB photojournalist Charlie Hatcher produced an audio slideshow on how this music is bringing people together.
My name is Greg Cohen. I've lived in Stuart for the past 32 years. It's not a real big town. It's not exactly a metropolis, and there's not a lot to do when the weather is really horrid. I play guitar, and I've been playing since I was about 14 years old, so it's about 44 years. It's a nice venue, and it's really very comfortable for being an old school library. Everybody's got an instrument generally that's their favorite, and sometimes it might be very old, sometimes it might be very new, sometimes it might be homemade, and sometimes it may not be, but there's a lot of interesting things besides the music. The Bingmans, Eric and Penny, they bring a whole different little style to the jams too. And because Penny is really good at singing the old country and things. That's what she grew up with. And she had her grandchild there today to kind of get her introduced to it too.
I'm Penny Bingman, and I play the guitar. I play a little bit on the fiddle, mandolin, and just a little bit anything I can pick up I like to play. I play by ear, I don't play by note. This area in particular has been very instrumental in bluegrassy, country, gospel kind of music. I've known it my whole life. My grandchildren haven't had a chance to hear that togetherness as a family and as a community. I just want my grandkids to hear all of this bluegrass and gospel music.
Please tell me why you stray, dark as the night and blue as the day.
You can just entertain yourself with a music instrument, whether you know how to play it or not. You can just sit in the quiet of your room and run your finger up and down a string of a guitar or a mandolin until you hear all the sounds that please you. And that's how I started out. As far as a jam goes, you can't mess one up.
I thought that we had a very much of an eclectic sound today. We did a little bit of everything. The camaraderie is a lot of it. There was about 6 or 8 of us in there that have known each other for well over 30 years. So it's always good to see old friends, and it's also just really, really great to make new ones. And today was no different.
Next on Newswatch, a high school basketball player has a surprising hobby.
Box. A box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box. But the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse.
TV, play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS. We're with you for life.
Welcome in, Hardwood fans. Now, as you know, we've already aired our season finale where you see all these great people behind me who made our all-hero and all-feature teams. But that doesn't mean our coverage stops. There are still a lot of teams in the playoffs and games left to be played. So if you want to stay up to date with all that and all the other TVC action, then go follow our social media. Like us on Facebook, add us on Snapchat, and follow us on Twitter. And always remember to be heroic.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at WOUB.org. And thank you.
A local high school basketball player has a passion for rap. Reporter Tyler Corbett takes a look at the player's hobby.
When the average TVC basketball fan hears the name Austin Height, they probably think about Vinton County's emotional leader. But what if I told you there was a Height the fans didn't know? Basketball isn't Height's only hobby. Making music is his passion. Passion for music came from his family, who assisted with his career early on.
Freshman year, I really started getting heavy into it and really trying to pursue it more. We would always go to these different music festivals and they'd drive me around and Dad would help me set up sound equipment.
They never doubted that he'd make something of it.
Seriously, maybe around 13, 14 years old.
I knew when he was 9 years old he was going to do something with it.
Height's teammates are supportive of his music. They're so supportive that they come out to his song, Go Off.
I was against it, and then they said that we should do it.
Basketball and music are the two most important things to Height.
I go to school through the day, then I come to basketball, and then I don't think about school for the rest of the day, and I just go home and write.
To Height, music is like basketball. It takes time to perfect.
I just start by making the beat, and then just whatever comes to mind, I just kind of let it fly.
Writing songs takes in varied amounts of time.
Sometimes it can take 20 minutes, and then sometimes it takes a month.
One thing is certain to Height. Music is what he wants to make his career of, and what he is focusing on once he graduates.
So I'm gonna work on sync projects, which is where you write specifically for movies or video games or YouTube channels and stuff like that.
Much like the Vikings on the court, in the studio, he always has a team behind him.
And if you're wondering if basketball impacts his music, he plans on releasing a song titled Free Throw, based on his game-winning shot against Athens. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Ben Schwartz. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest music and arts news anytime at woub.org/culture. Have a great night.